Kaisen fam, I'm back with the second video of the day. We're gonna be checking out Toji's insane godly power. You know what I'm saying? How strong is Toji Fushiguro? We're gonna check this out because I really want to know. Obviously, we didn't really get to see much of Fushiguro, bro. And to be honest, I wanted to see more. So I want to see how strong he is. We just gonna see everything about this guy. Hopefully we get a deeper explanation of him. And yeah, man. By the way, guys, I'm recording this little part after I finish the reaction. There's gonna be spoilers in here. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want to get spoiled, yeah, you know what to do. Anyways, if you're new to the channel, you're into the content, make sure to hit that sub button, hit those likes, and turn on the bell so y'all get notified whenever I drop a video. And don't forget, down in the description, we have the link to all my socials.
That powers the entire scaling system of Jujutsu Kaisen, yet you're still capable of outputting enough power to kill the strongest character, casually move more than 250 miles per hour, tank nuclear explosions, and is still considered to be one of the best characters in the entire manga. That person's name is Toji Fushiguro. Let's go! Toji's name alone was the biggest nightmare for the Zenin clan. Why? Well, Toji was an outlier who was capable of killing the entire clan on his own if they crossed him. Born into a prestigious Jujutsu clan but with absolutely zero cursed energy, let alone a cursed technique, Toji was deemed to be a failure. However, he not only managed to...
Wait, Maki is also that way, bro.
almost kill Satoru freaking Gojo, but he also came back from death itself to show exactly how he earned the title of the Sorcerer Killer. Toji possesses one of the most powerful weapons, Heavenly Restriction, which made him literally superhuman, allowing him to reach the heights of special grade sorcerers. Simply speaking, Heavenly Restriction is like a binding on a sorcerer's body that is imposed right from birth. We can call it a trade-off between cursed energy and physical abilities, enabling a sorcerer to get skills that an average human can't have. Hence, Toji did not own even a single little drop of cursed energy and was the only example of a person where Heavenly Restriction completely eradicated it instead of just lowering it to normal levels. Remember guys, humans without cursed energy can't see curses, such as Maki having to use her glasses. But what made Toji beyond human is that each one of his 5 senses was attuned to the highest degree, making them significantly stronger. As a result, Toji gained the ability to discern curses and Jujutsu as if he could actually see them. Whilst he was young, the Zenin clan had thrown him into a pit full of cursed spirits to punish him for having no cursed energy, but the only injury he got from that was a scar on his face, meaning that he wiped out all the curses on his own. Moreover, whilst other sorcerers would their pants standing up to the strongest duo, Gojo and Geto, even though they could see their curse techniques, Toji did so fully relying on his senses alone. Just imagine that. Toji couldn't see anything. That is some insane disadvantage, yet he still took Geto's dragon cursed spirit out with ease. This is another factor that highly influences the battle senses of Toji, since instead of cursed spirits and techniques, he can see and feel inorganic matter as well as grab hold of normally imperceptible changes in air density and temperature. This innate ability helps him to dodge or attack anything that he can't see. In a similar fashion, his presence was also completely invisible, which he used as a huge part of his plan for taking out Gojo to sneak into Jujutsu High without setting off the barriers. He could slip in and out without a problem because the barriers only detected foreign cursed energy, yet Toji was immune to all that. After all, Kid Satoru Gojo was the first and last person to ever notice Toji from behind, making him the best assassin in the entire world. Toji had a special cursed tool to annihilate Gojo, as his final blow had come from the inverted spear of heaven. This is a tool that can force the stoppage of any other technique it comes into contact with, completely nullifying even the most powerful cursed techniques like Gojo's Limitless. Not even Sukuna's cleaving at 20 fingers could penetrate Gojo's technique. However, on top of that, Tengen mentioned that the inverted spear of heaven is so powerful that it even has the power to cancel out the effects of the prison realm in which Gojo was sealed inside later. But we all know what he did. However, this is where another advantage of heavenly restriction comes in, because Toji's body developed resistance to curses as well. He stored all his cursed tools inside a weapon cache, which was just a cursed spirit that Toji ingested. Yep, an invisible man has invisible guts, so the extremely low cursed energy from the cursed spirit was concealed within his body. This was an effective way for Toji to carry a number of cursed tools, which he was very proficient in wielding because of the years he had training with them. An insane feat of this strength is seen with Gojo. He easily deals with his cursed spirit, who was stated to have the hardest skin of all cursed spirits, claiming that it was just a bunch of noise and meaningless to him. To escalate this even further, Toji easily destroyed Dagon, who was a special grade cursed spirit. We were told he is incredibly durable and difficult to damage even for elite sorcerers. A great example would be him taking minimal damage from getting hit by Nanami's ratio technique, which forces critical hits. Yet Toji's strength is complemented via the manga's own words, stating that the Playful Cloud's power depends on the strength of the wielder, where he then proceeds to easily dispatch Dagon, who scaled to at least 4 or 5 Sukuna fingers. Dagon wasn't stronger than Jogo, however, who was declared by Kenjaku to be around 8 or 9 fingers, and the manga stated that Jogo was on a completely different level compared to him. However, with Toji's strength put into perspective, we can now understand why he's capable of defeating Gojo at 16 years old. Toji used both of these abilities to stab Gojo with a sword as soon as he let his guard down, and even escaped from a massive cursed spirit that Gojo would use to trap curses within seconds. Toji's speed of movement was so insane that even Gojo was taken aback, stating that he can't sense or see him at all, therefore not able to read his moves, leading to Gojo wondering how he's so fast, which forces him to use a maximum amount of cursed energy. However, luckily for everyone, we can actually scale Toji's speed to be at least subsonic, which is 65% less than the speed of sound, equaling between 250 to 609 miles per hour. This is why he was able to dispatch Gojo so easily, slashing him up before he could even react. Megumi told us that Toji is a fully realized Maki, but even Maki is easily able to catch a bullet with her bare hands before awakening the same powers as Toji. He even claims that Toji is easily rivaling the speed of Sukuna, who fought him, being 3 fingers at the time, meaning Toji is way stronger than you think. So even if we argue that Gojo was tired, which is part of Toji's strategy, his statement implies that he hasn't seen speed like this before. This is pretty impressive, especially since it's coming from someone who was considered the strongest even before awakening to enlightenment. After all, the fact remains that Gojo was the same person who altered the balance of the world with his birth alone. Toji showed no hesitation in moving into close range with Gojo to land a blow with the inverted spear of heaven. Combining his street smarts with his goated physical strength, Toji killed Gojo. Or so he thought. His luck had run out with this attempt alone, as Gojo got awakened by understanding the core of cursed energy and unlocking the broken ability of reversed curse technique on his deathbed. This Gojo was a complete...
Okay, man, I understand that, but didn't he say that the dagger cancels out abilities?
Completely different person to the one that Toji had just fought, but he still went full out, showcasing some amazing feats. First off, we can easily scale Toji's defense, as he survived getting hit with Gojo's reversal red, an attack that blasted a giant cursed spirit and annihilated it in one shot with so much power that a building also got destroyed in Jujutsu Kaisen 0. The same attack he actually used against a 20-finger Sukuna and made him bleed. However, Toji didn't even break a single bone despite crashing into a building with such intense force, prompting Gojo to comment that he is a monster. Moreover, Toji instantly made a game plan against Gojo's powers whilst being in the midst of this death battle. He only lost to Gojo's hollow purple attack, but Toji still managed to sense it coming, which is a crazy achievement in and of itself. Remember that purple is a huge huge amount of imaginary mass that travels at speeds higher than even light, which is literally not visible to the eyes since it's imaginary, so one cannot even think of dodging it in time if they are not aware of it. So this displays his unique ability of sensory at its finest. However, this is not where his life or feats end, because in the Shibuya Incident arc, Toji made his glorious return. Agami, a curse user who was hired by Kenjaku, revived Toji using her seance technique on her grandson. More specifically, she used Toji's body information to summon him into her grandson and use his technique and physical abilities. Even under these circumstances, Takuma Ino, who was acknowledged by Nanami to be a grade 1 sorcerer, commented that just one look at Toji was enough for him to conclude that he was ridiculously strong. The grandson completely took Ino by surprise before he could even summon his Shikigami and landed several hard punches to knock him out. All the while, Ino couldn't even react, let alone defend himself. But before the grandson could continue any further, an insane thing happened. Instead of him being in control of Toji's insane physical prowess,
This is spoilers, by the way, so you know what I'm saying? I might just... no. Let's go.
Came back
Sorry,
to
guys.
life. This is because Toji's soul is special thanks to heavenly restriction, as his soul defeated the grandson's, overriding the technique's effects and letting him take over the body at its full capacity. The reason aside, Toji started wreaking havoc, destroying Ogami with just one punch because he had become a berserk killing machine as he aimed to beat the shit out of the strongest person or curse around him. In this crazed state, he entered the domain expansion of Dagon, a special grade cursed spirit who was overwhelming Naobito, Nanami, Maki, and Megami all at once. As soon as Toji entered the expansion, he snatched the Playful Cloud cursed tool from Maki, thoroughly shocking her at his speed. Dagon himself was also unprepared for the carnage Toji brought, using only Playful Cloud, prompting him to question Toji's power. He also noticed that Toji was running on water like it was normal, getting faster as the fight went on. In a bit to protect himself, Dagon summoned his hardest and most powerful Shikigami, but Toji turned them into pulp in no time. With that done, Toji began to sharpen the Playful Cloud, meaning to take out Dagon for good. Before Naobito could even attempt to use an attack as a diversion, Toji launched himself at Dagon, giving him not a single moment to counterattack or defend, totally desecrating him until the domain disappeared. This is an insane feat because Naobito, the second fastest sorcerer, commented that Dagon was faster than even Jogo, who was the equivalent of 8 or 9 fingers of Sukuna. So despite Nanami commenting that Dagon had boundless health, Toji made him look normal in comparison. But Toji scales even higher later on in the manga, as Geke Akutami revealed even more special powers of heavenly restriction through Maki, as she had awakened the same powers as him and gave it more airtime for us to explore it further. Her feats also apply to Toji, telling us that he was truly a monster like Gojo said. In chapter 198, it literally states another human on par with Toji. After surviving the cursed spirit's pit paralleling Toji, she'd become the same nightmare as him, fully unlocking her physical capabilities on his level. She sliced through Zenin clan members like butter, but it was only because their luck had ran out. According to Ranta, Toji did not destroy the clan, but instead chose to abandon his name, meaning that the Zenins were still around for Maki to kill purely because of Toji's whim alone. Even being surrounded by the Hei and Kukuru units of the Zenin clan didn't stop her. She faced strong curse techniques like Chojiro's giant stone hands attack, which was believed to completely immobilize her. It was also dangerous enough to break someone's bones, but Maki easily broke out of this stone trap within just a few moments, mostly unscathed because the heavenly restriction gave Toji and Maki bodies of steel. Having a body like that meant that Toji could take shockingly high damage without collapsing, because steel is the strongest alloy and is used in the construction of railways, highways, and even huge skyscrapers. Essentially, he could take on 30 to 50,000 pounds per square inch of strength. To put this into perspective, that's like having a hippopotamus standing on a 1 centimeter of tile. Moreover, other than curse technique reversal red, even Jogo's fire attack from close range couldn't reduce them to ashes, despite not having any form of cursed energy reinforcement. Wow. Mind you, Jogo is a freaking volcano himself, so his attacks are literally volcanic lava. Putting it into perspective again, they had a temperature of around 1200 to 1250 Celsius. This means that the impact from them was most definitely 4th degree burns, which are the most severe and potentially life-threatening as they destroy all layers of skin, as well as the bone, muscle, and tendons. Nanami and Naobito were literally roasted to nothingness despite being stronger and faster than Maki, yet she survived with just burn scars on her body. This means that she survived a fire of 1250 Celsius, but fully realized Maki and Toji have an even greater 23% increased duration.
Nah, don't tell me Nanami's dead, bro. Nah, this is major spoilers. But fuck it, we here for it. You know what I'm saying?
Steel has a melting point of 1371 to 1540 Celsius. As mentioned before, Toji was faster than Naobito, but his son Naoya was even faster when in his human form. But as a cursed spirit, Naoya's highest speed drastically increased from subsonic to Mach 3. It meant that he could move at thrice the speed of sound itself, and such speeds are typical of a fighter jet or really any fast passenger planes because they can cover around 3,700 kilometers per hour at this speed. Maki basically put a stop to a literal fighter plane coming right at her and not just survived but also retained her consciousness. This scales her and Toji's durability even further because they could tank around 907 kilograms of weight coming straight at them at the speed of 3,700 kilometers an hour without dying. Moreover, we come to know that heavenly restriction heavily influences the rate of recovery as well, which is why despite getting hit with massive attacks like red, Toji could continue fighting without a hitch. But what makes Toji and Maki absolutely incredible, to the point that we could even consider heavenly restriction a glitch in the Matrix, is their immunity to domain expansions. Just like how barriers can't confine them, Toji and Maki are also out of the purview of domain expansions, as they are treated the same way as a building would be, thanks to their zero cursed energy. Unless the domain itself uses a physical barrier or they agree to the condition of being in the domain themselves, Toji and Maki cannot be trapped or affected with the sure hit attack. This is a broken ability to have because domain expansion is the most lethal technique of a sorcerer, and the only way to counter them are anti-domain techniques like simple domain. But these techniques require cursed energy, so for Toji and Maki to be an invisible presence is an ace card. Maki also tanked a kaiju level of Nue after Sukuna took over Megami's body, but remember guys, Megami had already said in his battle against Toji that his Shikigami would be useless. But this means that Toji had the capacity to even take down enhanced full power Shikigami as well. What's more insane is that even Sukuna, a sorcerer of such a high level, was also surprised by Maki's presence as well as her hand-to-hand combat abilities. She could keep up with 15 Fingers Sukuna without an issue, even landing some hard-hitting attacks. Granted that Megami was intervening with reducing the cursed energy output when Sukuna was attacking Maki or Yuji, but she still took on a powerful sucker punch without damage, which Sukuna found entertaining. In fact, when Uraume came in to support Sukuna, he stated that it was the correct decision to focus cursed energy on Maki, indirectly acknowledging how strong she is, basically meaning that she's canonically built different. All of this applies to Toji as well, justifying how heavenly restriction of this degree made him an insane special grade sorcerer who is among the strongest characters in the series. Now, if you want to learn even more about the GOAT that is Toji Fushiguro, I highly recommend that you click on this video on your screen right now.
Wow. Just wow, bro. Fushiguro, insane. Obviously, Maki has his power as well, so damn, bro. Damn, that is crazy. We got some major spoilers. I ain't even gonna lie, KZ fan, but fuck it, dude. Jujutsu Kaisen is insane. Anyways, stay positive, stay healthy, and most definitely keep that strong mentality, man. I'm out.